Alright, morning. Today we're going to be solving Z0 matrix. And yeah, basically the idea behind this one is whenever you have a zero in the matrix, you want to set everything on the column and the row to zero. So the zero in the middle here turns these into zeros. And if you come down here, so we're going to turn everything down here to zeros and everything here to zero and everything here to zero. Yeah, so this was a bit tricky to solve, but basically the idea behind it is you want to kind of think of like an extra array outside this that basically stores true or false, whether there's a zero within here. So you're going to traverse the array, and then if there's any zero within the row, you just set that to true, and set that false, set that to true. And then if you come to this part, you also do exactly the same thing. And then you traverse the array again. And for every part of the matrix, you check whether the column or the row was true or false. And if any of them is true, you set that to zero. And that would give you the answer. But the issue with that solution is you are using an extra two arrays, which is taking a lot of space. It's not that much space in my opinion, but it's apparently taking too much space. So the other alternative of what we could do is we could use the first column and the first row as the storage, but then we basically save their status. So we basically check if this and this change first. If they do, we set them to zero, and if not, we just leave them as is. So basically this will basically be our true or false. And if there's a zero here, we basically it means that we turn everything else into zero. I think it might be easier to go into code. Yeah, so initially just let's do row call equals length of matrix length of matrix 0, and then we want to check is row 0, and yeah, we do that, like, we set that to false initially, and then we just loop for r in range row. And yeah, this is basically going to check the first row and see if anything. I think that's supposed to be column actually, because we want to, like for the row, it's first row 0 basically. So we want to check if the first row is 0, and we just check if each column in the first row. So we're going to do matrix if matrix so this is the row, and then the column is going to be C equals 0. Then we want to basically return set its first row to true. I think you could do this using comprehension. So we're going to do the other one using comprehension is first call zeros. We set that to just any matrix. I guess we say R 0 and trying to remember how to do list comprehension. Equals 0 for R in range row, something like that. So it checks if any matrix R0 is 0 for Rn, right? And that would return true or false. Yeah, so this is basically the equivalent of the above. Yeah, this one is more easily understandable. And basically what we want to do next is we want to basically loop through everything here. And if any of these is 0, we set the first column to 0 and this one to 0. And then at the very end, we're going to check if we're going to turn everything here or here to 0 as well. And so for now, let's focus on doing the inner square. And that would be for R in range from for C in range comma. And we're just going to say, actually, we want to start from 1 because we want to skip the first. And start from 1 as well here because we want to skip the first. And basically, if matrix RC equals 0, we basically want to set the matrix yeah, we could do 0 column C, like basically current position we're on, we set that to 0 and matrix R column R0 equals to 0. So that would set those first ones to 0, and all we have to do is loop through the same thing one more time. And basically, each time for every element we're on, we just check if matrix, if this or this equal to 0, and if that's the case, we basically want to set the element to 0, and then matrix R and C equals 0, and that should basically do the changing of all the inner matrices to 0. So that should change this to 0, this to 0, this to 0, and this to 0. And now all that's left is we just need to do this, check if this is supposed to be 0, because like if the whole thing's supposed to be 0, just like an original 0, because we've already have this true or false. We could do that by just doing if is first row 0, then we just want to loop through we just want to do this for each scene. Actually, yeah, we just want to do this and just set everything. Matrix 0, C equals 0, and we kind of want to do exactly the same thing for the rows. Let me grab this and throw that here, and row and row, and this is row, and we want to set that to 0. And yeah, that should pretty much be covered the whole thing. And hoping this works first time, and looks like it does. Let's submit it and find out. Yep, it looks like that works. Yeah, and I will just show the whole solution. Yeah, it's a pretty tricky one, but hopefully this makes it clearer on how to solve it. Thank you.